Yahweh and hello, my name is Mark Stege. I am a member of the council here in Maloelap Atoll local government. I also work as the Chief Research Advisor with the Marshall Islands Conservation Society. And I guess that makes me more or less an atoll researcher, an activist for the Marshall Islands. Our community here in Maloelap is increasingly becoming aware of the real threats that are posed to especially future generations of Maloelap residents. And my research has been very much motivated by those threats. Involve setting fixed control points around the island. We were able to do several around the hospital, around the Copra warehouse at the airport, usually places that are permanent fixtures in the island topography, like a concrete slab or something like this that is going to stay in place for a long time. And determining their relative elevation to sea level. So we measured the sea level this week and tied it to these control points. There's quite a bit of traversing and walking around the island, and after we set up those control points and established the network of control points, we have some support from the Marshall Islands Marine Resources Authority, and they were kind enough to bring one of their drones and two of their pilots with us. And so they spent yesterday doing the second step, which is to take a photo of the entire island, literally 1,000 or more photos of the entire island, essentially creating a model or a three-dimensional image of the island. The methods that we're employing to try to help the community of Maloelap make their decision around flood risk and the thresholds that they may have at different levels of risk. We are really trying to expand on this idea of habitability thresholds. So there could be multiple thresholds of habitability. Usually people think of, how much water you need to survive on a daily basis, how much dry land is needed to survive on a daily basis. But also social cohesion, how much of a community composition is needed to actually be a community. So there's a focus this past week on the idea of flood risk thresholds, with the idea being that there's a certain amount of flood risk that a community will tolerate prior to that flood risk becoming really a risk to more than just property but life as well. And of course that's intertwined with other ecosystem services that an atoll provides atoll inhabitants, such as fresh water. Groundwater is very much linked to the amount of rainfall, but also the withholding of saltwater intrusion into that groundwater. And so flood risk is intertwined with water security as well in that way. But we're really focusing on the flood risk threshold aspect of this this concept of atoll habitability and our ability as a community to manage the different thresholds, to extend them, to monitor them, to essentially be very, very much stewards of the environment in a analytical sense.
So we're checking the water quality to see whether you can farm animals here. That's one of the projects here, the Maloelap project.
Because of the very intimate relationship that Marshallies have historically had with the ocean and flooding, we are also really using a lot of the other non-traditional or non-conventional methods that, say, an anthropologist would often use. Interviewing elders about the flooding events in the past and trying to get a better sense of what existing knowledge is already with the community here surrounding flood risk, any folklores or legends. I guess a traditional ecological knowledge and a Western knowledge system coming together, those two systems coming together and forming the methods that we are employing to understand flood risk in the Marshall Islands. The local government was able to put some money aside this year for attaching a roof onto this building, which is intended for our copra or coconut oil exports from Maloelap. It's important to do many things in addition to climate change because we have so much more time to be here. Life goes on, and we just have to continue doing the work that is also very important. It's just been a really nice homecoming, and the trip like this hopefully can produce some really good results for the people here at home. So there's a real motivation to do good work. It's kind of personal, it's professional, and the intertwining of those two aspects of my life during this trip has been just really enjoyable. I'd like to do more work like this, and I'm sure many people would as well. So hopefully we can recruit more people and teach them these methods and send them off into their respective homes and have their homecomings, and people can experience climate change as, again, an empowering rather than a disempowering experience. That's about it that I can think of. And it's been really nice having Christina Schulze on this trip. She almost went to Tarawa, but luckily we changed her ticket last minute. She would have been spending all this week by herself, all the way in Tarawa, which is about, I'd say, 3 to 4 hours boat ride that direction, we would have gone and saved her, I'm sure. But yeah, thank you for the opportunity to speak about the work that we're doing and to share how enjoyable it's been and how we'd like to do more about climate change in this way, in this methodology. So thank you.
Come on, thank you.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Wunderbar.
Wunderbar.